in thunder, lightning, or in rain.
When the high valley is dark, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be the air instead of sun. Where the place
Upon the heath,
there to meet with Macbeth.
fair as foul, the foulest fair, hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report the seaman fly's plight of the revolt the new estate.
This is the sergeant.
Doubtful and stood, as two Spanish swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless McDonald from the western isles of perms and gall glasses they supply. And fortune on whose damn quarrel smiling showed like a rebel's war. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth, well he deserved that game. Sustaining fortune with his brandished shield, like Bar's minion, carved out his passage, till he faced the slave, which near shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nape to the chop, and fixed his head upon our valley.
Valiant cousin, worthy gentleman,
I am fate, my gashes cry for hope.
so will thy words become thee as thy wounds, they smack of on a bone. Go, and surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Dane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Dane?
From the life great king, where the origin banners fluff the sky and banner people hold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by the most loyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And, to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness! No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou? A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I, heroic thing which the rough-bedded rugged cries. My husband's too knuckle-bone, master of the tiger, but it seemed off thither sailing like a rat without a tail. I'll do, and I'll do.
Ah, the wind.
Thou'rt kind, and I another. And I myself have all the others, in the very ports they blow. All the quarters that they know, the shipman's card. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's son, wrapped as homeward he did come. A drum, big bang now comes!
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, just to go about, thrice a line and thrice a line and thrice again to make up 9.
Peace! The charm's wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen. How far is it to forest? Ah! What are these, so wild and wedded in their attire, that they look not like the inhabitants' birthday yet, or on it? Live you? Or are you on by them, they question? You seem to understand me by each that wonder chopping finger laying upon his skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret your son.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Blanche.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, who shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear that which you sound so fair? My noble partner, you grieve with present grace and great prediction of noble heart and royal hope that he seems wrapped withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and tell which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me. For I neither fear nor beg your favors nor your hate.
Hail,
Hail.
hail, lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo. Banquo and Macbeth. All hail.
Steady with perfect speakers. Tell me more. I know I have been a bird with Cawdor. The thing in Cawdor lives.
to the self-same chain of words. Who's there? The king had happily received Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads of thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and praise do contend which should be thine or his. As thick as hail came post to post, and everyone did bear that praise of his kingdom's raised defense, and poured them down before him.
You have sent me to give my warrior master thanks.
And for earnest of greater honor, he bade me, from him, call thee, Thane of Cawdor, which addition, hail most worthy fame for his thine. What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you address me in borrowed robes?
When the Thane lives yet, by my heavy judgment, throws that life he deserves to lose. Choosing captive from peasants who have overthrown him.
Lambs and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not wish your children shall be kings, when those that gave Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home, and yet intended his crown besides Thane of Cawdor. And oftentimes the ancients of darkness who tell streets. Cousins, a word I fear.
Two truths are told. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why have you given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image shall have fixed mine hair, and make my scenic heart knock against my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. Methoughts, whose murder is yet but fantastical, show sakes my single state of man. The function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partners interact.
If chance shall have me king, why, chance will crown me, without my stir.
New honors come upon him, like our strange garments. Please not get to their mold, but with the aid of these.
Come what come may, time and hour run through the rough things.
Were you my best, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me a favor. My dull brain was rocked thanks to God. Let us join the king. Think upon me with chance, and at later hour let us speak our three hearts each other. Very fine. Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they have not yet come back, but I have spoke to one who saw him die, and very frankly, he reported that in his death, he confessed his treasons, implored by our Highness's pardon, and set forth by deep repentance. Nothing in his life became of him like the leaving of it. To throw away the dearest thing he owes is to wear a careless trifle.
There is no art to find divine's construction in the face. He was a gentleman in whom I had placed an absolute trust. Ah, worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy upon me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have less to say, more is thy due than all can ever pay.
The service and loyalty I owe doing things himself.
Welcome hither, I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee, and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton and boldness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are nearest, know that we shall establish our estate upon our eldest Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must, not unaccompanied, invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shine on all deservers.
The rest is labor which is not meant for you. I'll be myself the harbinger of good news, and make joyful the carrier of my wife to your approach. Someone please take my leave.
I'm ready, Caldor.
Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must overtake or fall down upon, for in my way it lies. Heart not mine.
Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? I get rest? They came to bed. I have been unusual pleasure since a great interest to your offices. I dreamt last night of you were sisters. To you, they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can treat time to serve, we would spend it some words about that business. If you would grant the time.
I should kindly sleep.
If you plead to my consent with his, it shall be a great honor for you.
And so I lose none in seeking to augment it, but keep my physical here and allegiance franchise. I shall be counseled.
It will come to a while.
Thanks, sir, and the likes to you.
Is that a dagger I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch at thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not dagger of mine, of false creation? Art thou dagger of mine, of false creation proceeding from the heat of blessed rain? I see thee still, and on thy blatant bludgeon, gouts of blood which were not so before. Mine eyes may fool to the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, in form as palpable as that which I now drop. And on thy blatant bludgeon, gouts of blood which were not so before. There is no such thing! It is the bloody business of the deed which forms us to mine eyes. Thou firm and sure-set earth, fear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prove out my whereabout, and take the present horrors of the time, which thou well suit. While thy threats, he lit, heat to the word of deed, too cold breath brings. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Peace. It was the owl in that treat, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the serpent grooms do mock their charges with snores. I have drugged their potions, that death and nature do depend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awakened, 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Harder than their daggers ready, you could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I heard thee. Didst thou not hear a voice?
I heard the owl scream and heard its cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I ascended?
I.
Methought I heard someone laugh, and one did laugh and cry murder, but they did wake each other up. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and dressed them against sleep.
They are two lodged together.
One did cry God bless us, and the other amen, for they had seen me with these hanging hands listening their tears. I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not say amen? I was in most need of a blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more! Macbeth doth murder sleep! The innocent sleep! Sleep submits up the rabbit's sleep and care! The death of each takes leave! Sore labor's back! Bomb of hurt mind! Great nature's second course! Chief nourisher of life's peace!
What do you mean?
And still it cries.
living and the dead are but as pictures, 'tis the eye of a child that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the bruise of blood, for it must seem their guilt.
What does that knocking? How is it with me that every noise appalls me? What are these hands? They pluck out my knife. Will all great Neptune's oceans ever wash this blood clean from my hand? No. Rather this my hand, the multitudinous sea incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are her color, but I shaved for a heart so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. It's not so easy then. Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Put your knife on this occasion show and calls to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in thoughts.
No, my deeds profess my own myself. Quit knocking with that knocking! Anyone knock?
Here's the knocking indeed. If a man with a porter of hell gate, he shall all turn in the key. Knock, knock, knock! Run down in the name of Bethlehem! It's a farmer that trained themselves for the expectations of plenty. Come in time, have nothing enough about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. In another devil's day! Oh, fate. It's an equivocator. That can swear in both the scales against the scales. Who commit treason enough for God's sake, and who cannot equivocate to heaven. Come in, equivocator! Fate, here's an English tailor who hither from a French pose. Come in, tailor. Here, there is your goose. Never act quiet. What are you? This place is too cold for hell. I'll double porter no burger. I had thought collecting some of all professions to the primrose way of the everlasting bonfire. Anon! I pray you remember the porter!
Was it so late, Frank? Everyone to bed, I can do my statement.
Faith, sir. We will carouse until the second cup. And drink, sir, is the provoker of 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Very so. Nose painting, sleep, and urine.
Is thy master stirring? Pinocchio is awakened. Here he comes.
Come on, noble sir.
Good morrow,
Is the king stirring here today?
not yet.
He did command me to call time upon him. I know it's at the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Does the king hence today?
He does. He did afford himself some.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay our chimneys will blow down, and as the king left from my heirs makes me upset, and from the sake of dire consumption and defense. You have to hold time to obscure but language in that life. Some see the earth with and did shake.
masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke all the Lord's anointed temple and stolen thence the life of the Philistines.
What did you say? The light?
Your Majesty!
Approach his chamber and destroy your sight with the new organ. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo, Donalbain! Malcolm! Awake!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to part of the sleepers of the house? Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, it is not for you to hear what I can speak. Oh, Banquo! Banquo! Our royal master is murdered.
Oh, alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear death, I pray me contradict myself and say it not so.
Had I but died long before, I have lived a blessed life. From this instant, there is nothing serious in mortality.
What is amiss?
Your royal father is murdered. By whom?
Those of the chambers who have done this, their hands and faces were all dyed in blood. So were the egg in which a was found. No man's life is to be trusted with them.
Oh, and I can repent me of my fury, that I could kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition in my violent love outran the cause of no reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with golden blood. His gashed stabs looked like a breach of nature. And there, the murderers, steeped in the color of their training, their daggers and manly breach of thorns. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart, courage to make one's love known?
Help me, head soul!
Look to the lady! What will we do?
Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does.
All to England.
And all to Ireland. Our separated fortunes shall keep us both safer.
Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires.
They met me in the day of success, and I learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned the desire to question them further, they made themselves heirs which they vanished. When I stood wrapped in the wonderment, came misses from the king who all hailed me, Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming of the time when, Hail King that shalt be. This I have thought so deliberately, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dews of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is honesty. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Moms thou art in Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet, do I fear thy nature? It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch near its way. Thou wouldst be great, or not without ambition, but without the illness that attend it. That which cries, as thou dost do without habit, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishes to be undone. Hide thee hither, that I may pour my spirit into thine ear, and chastise all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate thou seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings? The king comes here tonight. Is not thy master with him?
So please you, it is true. Our stay is coming. One of my fellows of the street ago, who almost stepped aside, had scarcely known the name of his message.
Give him pen. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the top choke full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage of remorse, that no tempestuous visitings of nature shake my dull purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my mouth with all, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall me in deadest smoke of hell, and my keen night see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the night to cry, Ho! Ho!
Oh, my dearest Lord.
Great, long, worthy condor, greater than both, and the all hereafter. I feel now the future in an instant.
My dearest love. Duncan comes here tonight.
And what goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Who never shall send the tomorrow see? Your face, my thing, is as a bookworm that may read strange matters. Look, like an innocent flower, but be the serpent under. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch. Which shall to all our nights and days to come be solely sovereign sway and master.
We will speak further of this business.
Only look up clear, the altar favorite ever is to be. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air sweetly and nimbly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
The air is delicate.
See our honoured hostess.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs is called. To give honor at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to my house. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done what is done, then 'twere well if it were done quickly. If the assassination could trample up the consequence and capture the Circe's success, that this be the be-all and end-all here. But here, on the shoals of banks of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. But bloody instruction, which being taught, we turn to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our lips. He's here in double trust. First as I, his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door. Not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of the deed. And pity, like a naked newborn babe striding forth, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall lull the deeds in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the size of my intent, but only vaunting ambition, which overleaps one and falls on the other. How now? What news?
His almost out. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not he has.
We will speak no further of this business. He hath honored me of late.
Was the hope drunk where you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And waste it now to look so green and pale, what it did so freely? From this time such I account I love. Art thou feared to be the same in thine act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest so ornament of life, to live with power that I don't see, but if I dare not wait upon, I will let the poor cat in the attic.
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man, who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you bring this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than man. For time or place but then here, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness does now make you. I have given some, and I know how tender is the love of the babe that melts me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When
Duncan is asleep, his two chamberlains will I with Ryder instead. When the swinish sleep, their drenched natures do lies in the death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon the spongy officers who shall bear the influence of our great cloud?
Will it not be received when we have marked with blood the very sleepy through his chamber and eternal daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our grief and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled. Away, and not the time of fair show. While space was high.
Lady Macbeth, Threescore and 10, I can remember well, within the volume of which time I had seen. Hours dreadful and things strange, this sore night hath trifled former knowings. Thou seest the heavens as the troubled man's act threatens the bloody stage. 'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon cowering in her pride was by a mapsing owl hopped at and killed. And Duncan's horses, a thing of strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of the race turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as they should make war with mankind. 'Tis sin, they eat each other. They did so to the amazement of mine eyes that looked on. Here comes the Macbeth. How does the world turn out?
I see you not.
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth,
Alas, what good could they pretend?
they were suborned. Malcolm, the king's son, is sworn away and fled, which puts upon him suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, reckless ambition will ride up thine own life's means. Then 'tis the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He's already named and got to Scotland to be invested.
Will you to stone?
No, cousin, all to fight.
Well, I will visit.
Well, I hope you see things done well there. Adieu. But our old road was easier than our new.
God's medicine goes with you, with all those who make good of bad, friends and foes. Thou hast it now, king, condor, claws, all as the great women promise, and I fear thou hast paid most proudly for it. But it should not stand in thy posterity, that I myself should be the root and father of many kings. If the weird sister speaks true, as on Macbeth their speech and shine, should it not be my oracles as well as set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here is our esteemed guest. Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I require your presence.
What your highness commands upon me.
Where are you this afternoon?
Aye, my lord.
Is far you ride.
As far as Philip time twixt this and supper,
They are not our feast.
my lord, I will not.
Hie you to your home. Adieu to your return tonight. Ghost, Leons.
Aye, my lord. Our time is called upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot. Farewell. Sirrah, attend those men. Our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, to be safe with us. Our fears and bankroll's dig deep, and in him lies a royalty that reigns. It's much to be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and in that dauntless temper of mine, there is a wisdom that guides his valor. Safety. Safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear. He did chide me when the weird sisters pronounced me king, then bade them speak to him. And then, prophet-like, they named him father to a line of king. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, no sons of mine succeeding. If this be so, then for them, the gracious Duncan, I have murdered. Only them, and for my eternal jewel, to make them kings. The seeds of Banquo. Kings. Rather than so, throw fate onto the list and champion me into the utterance. Well now, have you considered my speeches? No doubt he in times past have held you so underfortunate. You made it known to us. All of you know Banquo is your enemy.
True, my lord.
So he is mine. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will about it, yet I must not. For friend Torvos, his and mine, whose love I may not drop, but wail his all who I myself doth down. So as I, to your sisters, do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry ways.
We shall, my lord, for we should be angels.
No are liars. Your spirits shine through you. At this hour at most, I will advise you to plant yourself and point you with a perfect spy at a time for the moment on it, for it must be done tonight, and something from the palace. Always thought that I required clearness. And with that, will leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Leon, his son, who keeps his father company, whose accent is no less material to me than him, must embrace the same dark fate of that hour. Resolve yourselves anon. I'll come to you again.
We know resolve.
Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight. If they find heaven, let's find out tonight.
Thoughts had, all spent, and desire is not without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone, using those thoughts which indeed should have died with them they live on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
You have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be yourself, or our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Ere we will eat our meals in fear and sleep in the terrible affliction of the dreams that shake tonight. Better be with the dead than we to gain our peace of sense and peace. Then in the restless of mind lies the restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. No steel nor poison can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord. Sleep over your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So I shall know. And so I tell you. Let your remembrance apply to the Banquo. Show him eminence of both eye and tongue.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his peanuts to live.
But in them nature's copies not interred.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. And thou be joking. There shall be done a deed of dreadfulness.
What's to be done?
The innocence of knowledge, dearest child, till thou applaud the deed. Thou marvelous at my words, and stand be still. That they be done grow strong themselves by them. So pretty, so pretty.
Hark! I hear horses. Give us a light there. Ho!
A light, says he.
Stand to it.
There will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery!
Who did strike up the light?
Was not the way?
There's been one down, the sun is fled. We have lost this half of our affair.
Well, let's always say what is done.
You know your own degrees. From first to last, the hearty welcome.
Thank you, Majesty.
Ourselves will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her estate, but in time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome.
See how they treat thee with their hearts bent. be large in mirth. Anon, we'll drink and measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face. Tis banquet. 'Tis better be without than he within. He has passion. Thou art the best of cutthroats, yet he's just as good that it delights with fiance. If thou didst, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal, sir, but on the state.
Then comes my fence again. I will come perfect, whole as the marble, bounded as the rock, as whole and casing as the general air. And now I am cabined, cribbed and confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. Banquos, safe.
I, my lord, safe in a ditch he finds, 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least adept to nature.
Thanks for that. There your serpent lies, the worm that's fled hath nature that in time will then agree. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you've not with the cheer. The feast is sold that is not long to vouch. While 'tis making, 'tis giving the welcome. Feed for best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting where bare habits.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now good digestion wait on appetite and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Would we have here our country's honor root, were the grace person of Banquo present, whom I may challenge for unkindness rather than pity for his chance.
His absence sir lays blame upon his promise. Please your highness to grace us with your royal company?
The table's full.
He was a bit reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is happening to your highness?
What did you do about this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I didn't! Never shake thy glory laps at me!
Gentlemen and brides, his highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus and hath been since youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary, and upon thought he will again be well. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one. I dare look upon that and try to call the devils.
Improper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger that you set bloody to Duncan. Well, these flaws and stars and postures of true fear may well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her dam. Shame itself! Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see, look, behold! Lo, what sayest thou? Why, what care I? Thou canst not, speakest to.
What? Why did he in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
My royal lord, the little friends who lack you.
I do forget. Love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general health of the table, and our dear friend, Banquo, whom we miss dearly when he were here. To all and him we thirst, to all and all. Avaunt and quit my sight! Let the earth find thee! Thy tones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. There is no speculation in those eyes that thou dost glare with.
Consider this, my friends, but as a thing of custom. Kiss no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery, hence! And with thee gone, I am a man again. Pray you, sit down, sit down.
What sights, my lord? I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Do not stand upon the order of going, but go at once. May your health attend his majesty. A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. The stones have no move, the trees to speak. What is it, knight?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that the duck denies his person an hour great thing? Did you send him, sir? I'll hear it by the way, and so I'll send. There is not a one of them in his house that I keep a servant be. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know my worst means and worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I have been blood, stepped in so far that, should I wait no more, returning were as tedious as go over. Strange thoughts in head that rule to hand must be acted ere they may be scanned.
Be black the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, go to sleep. My strange and subtle youth is the initiative fear that wants hard use. We are but young.
Toad, that under cold stone, days and nights, 31. Sweltered venom, leaking hot, boiled up first in the target's hot. Double, double,
Boil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble.
The lair of many snakes, in the cauldron boiling day. Eye of newt, toe of frog, wool of bat, tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind rose sting, lizard's leg and howl's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boiling bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble.
scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and goat, of being salty sharp, root of hemlock, faded dark, finger of birth, strangled sting, ditch delivered by a crab. Make the gruel thick and slabs, add there to a tiger's cauldron,
Toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble.
By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What canst thou do?
A thief without a name.
I conjure you by that which you confess. However you may come to know it, answer me. Speak.
Demand.
will answer. Say, that's rather good from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let us hear.
Horned soul's blood that hath eaten her nine pharaohs. Grease that sweating from murderers gives throw into the flames. Come high or low.
Thyself in all his deathly show.
Tell me, thou unknown coward. Who am I to fear?
Nervous I thought. Here is speech, but speak thou not. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware the dove. Beware the day of fight. Dismiss me, enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy caution begs, thou hast heard my fear delight. Yet one word
You
more.
will not be commanded.
There is another more close than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Be blood, bold and resolute, laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of them in glory shall harm you.
Then live Macduff. What need I fear of thee? Yet I'll make sure and double sure and take upon the fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell my pale-hearted lies and sleep in spite thunder. What is this that